welcome to Huntsville Coffee Break. Today we will be joined by two of Huntsville's most recognized civic leaders. All coming up right here on Huntsville Coffee Break. Starting out today, one of the things that sets Huntsville apart from other cities is its prison system. With many units inside the city, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice has a really deep history in Huntsville. Here to tell us a little bit more about the prison system is retired TDCJ warden and the director of the Texas Prison Museum, Mr. Jim Willett. Hi, Mr. Willett. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the prison system and what the first one was like here in Huntsville?
Well, the state decided to find a place to build a prison back in 1848. And nobody really knows exactly why they chose Huntsville, but a committee was sent out and they found that this was a place they were going to build it. And the prison right down the road from Sam Houston, the Walls unit they call it, is really the Huntsville unit, was the first prison in Texas. I know that I've had other parents of students or kids who were fixing to go to school here at Sam come by the museum and express a concern for it, but actually if you talk to people who've lived here in this town very long, nobody has much concern about that. And one of the main things is we don't hardly ever have an escape, and when we do, if you're an inmate, just think about it. The first thing you want to do is get out of Huntsville.
Now you were a retired warden, so can you tell me a little bit about what that was like being a warden?
It's an unusual job. I mean, and you have a lot of responsibility, but there's a lot of enjoyment out of it. I used to say, you know, a good day in prison is a boring day.
Can you tell me a little bit about an interesting day in the prison?
You talking about me personally?
Yes, sir.
I just happened to be in some strange situations. I was working at the Walls in 1974 when they had the prison hostage situation up there that lasted 11 days. I was out at a big riot they had at the Ferguson unit maybe a year or two before that. And of course, oversaw 89 executions while I was at the Walls as the warden.
But let's talk about the 1974 hostage situation. Can you tell me anything about that? What happened and who was involved and that kind of?
Yeah, 3 inmates. There was one who was the ringleader and did most of the work, but 3 inmates were involved, and they got 3 pistols and a bunch of ammunition smuggled in, and they took over the education department in the library, which was on the 3rd floor of a building in the middle of the unit, and they had everyone hostage up there for 11 days. This is a real brief summary. And on the 11th evening, the 11th night, they attempted to escape in this thing that they had built out of law books and bookshelves, and there was a shootout, and when it was over, 2 of the 3 inmates were dead, and a female librarian and a female teacher were dead.
Take us back to the prison rodeo, and can you tell me a little bit why it's no longer here?
Yeah. The prison rodeo was the idea of the man who ran the prison system in 1931, Lee Simmons. He started the prison rodeo. It was a very fast-moving rodeo, fast action. The inmates were the participants, and they had that rodeo except for 1 year during World War II, up through 1986. And when we had, it was typically on Sundays, and when we had a 5-Sunday October, that's when it was, on Sundays in October usually, a lot of times there were over 100,000 people come to Huntsville that year for the rodeo. So it was a big thing in this city. And the prison system stopped it after '86, citing that the brick stands were unsafe and they did not have the money to fix them.
Now, you're now in charge of the Texas Prison Museum. What is that like? How is that different than...
Well, I don't have to worry about anybody escaping or trying to stab each other or anything bad like that, and all my employees are just happy as a lark to be there. It's a real fun situation. You're going to think that the neatest thing in there coming in is going to be the electric chair, but you're going to find out that there's a lot of other things that you're going to find a whole lot more intriguing than that chair.
Now, you've mentioned Old Sparky, or the electric chair, being in your museum. What other really cool areas do you have in there?
From my observation, people spend more time looking at what we call the contraband display than anything else. And it is a lot of it is weapons that inmates have made out of all sorts of things. And some of it is not weapons, but things they're not supposed to have.
Now, I know inmates, they make things, or you can buy things, leather goods and things like that. Can you tell me a little bit about maybe some that's in the museum or some that they've made that you've seen?
We sell a lot of stuff in our gift shop that's made by inmates. Metal, leather, and wood items. Keychains that we sell out of metal. My goodness, I couldn't begin to tell you how many of those we sell a year. And if you've got a little logo or something to put on them, they can, I don't care how intricate it is, they can make a keychain with that logo on it.
That is pretty cool.
Purses and billfolds and the normal stuff.
I don't know, I've seen different like knife cases and things like the leather stitching, and they do some really neat work.
And typically, if you buy a belt or a wallet from them or a purse, it will last you almost forever. They use good leather and they do good work, and it lasts a long time.
Now, are these some of the things that the inmates use to transition out when they do get out of prison? Do they go into some of this work?
Some of them do, but especially if you've got someone who, say, for instance, is a good saddle maker or a good boot maker, he can probably make a good living outside on that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Willett, for joining me on the show today. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We will be right back here on Huntsville Coffee Break after this short message.
One in every 4 women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. You're not alone. You're not to blame. You don't deserve it.
Welcome back. Huntsville is the home for many heroes. We have heroes that fight for our country, heroes that fight crime, and heroes that fight fire. Today we have the honor of being in the presence of Fire Chief Tom Grisham. Hi, Chief Grisham. How are you today?
I'm fine today. You?
Pretty good.
Good.
Thank you for coming on our show.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad you are. Can you tell me a little bit about what you do and what your district is around here?
Well, we're typically a city fire department. We respond in the county as well. There's 790 square miles in the county. Including us, there's 6 other fire departments that we help each other in mutual aid agreements and putting out fires.
So tell me what an average day is like for you.
Well, pretty much our day is we're ordinary people too. We do ordinary things just like everybody else. There's nothing real special about us other than we're trained a different way and we think a different way. People just think of firefighters as they just put out fires, but that's not the case any longer. We are divided up in different divisions that are into our drinking water. We have a dive team that recovers drowned victims.
How long have you worked for the city of Huntsville?
I've been here 35 years and started out as a paid firefighter, and I was fortunate to work my way. The firefighting career is really ironic. You get up in the morning, you really don't know what challenges you're going to have, what type of work you're going to do, or when you're going to be back home. So it's exciting sometimes.
I bet it is.
And of course, sometimes it's sad. You know, there's stories that I don't dare repeat, and then there's good stories. You know, so it's an exciting job.
Can you tell me a couple of personal stories on some fires maybe you fought in, maybe the old Main when it burned down here at Sam?
Well, yeah, you know, I was here when Old Main burnt, as well as Austin College. We were pretty much here 17 hours, nonstop. It was kind of ironic, you know. It was a challenge. Old Main was on a hill. That caused problems. Austin College was too close to it. That caused problems. And for a long while there during that fire, we had thought we was going to lose Austin College building, but we really put a hammer on it when we started it. And most of our 17 hours was spent trying to stop the Austin College building from burning down.
Can you tell me a little bit about how the drought has affected your job a little?
The drought has been devastating, not only to the whole community, but the fire service as well. And number one, it works extremely hard on the budget. It's you know, some of the firefighting activities that we do is unforeseen situations. You can't budget for that. So it's hurt us there, and of course it's taken its toll on the firefighters, and not only just the Huntsville firefighters, but all of Walker County and the entire state of Texas.
Chief, you know, you mentioned drought and fire prevention, which actually works out great because we're going to take it right out to Megan Herring, who's in the field.
Thanks, Anna. I'm here in front of a fire danger sign right here on Sam Houston Avenue. This sign is here to tell you when conditions could be right for wildfires to occur. Annual rainfall numbers are well below average, a situation that many expect to continue. Because of this, it is important for homeowners, especially those who own land, to think about the possibility of a wildfire and to take steps to protect their homes. Simple things like a healthy and mowed lawn can go a long way. It is important to eliminate what firemen call ladder fuel, which is untrimmed shrubs, hanging trees, or even firewood that could be left on your porch. Some of these things can cause a fire to climb up and destroy your home, which otherwise would have been safe. For more information on what you can do to protect your home and be prepared for a fire, please visit HuntsvilleTexas.gov and click the fire department link. A few simple steps could be the difference in returning to a home that's intact or a pile of ashes. I'm Megan Herring. Back to you, Hannah.
Thanks, Megan. Chief Grisham, can you tell me a little bit about the Ready, Set, Go program?
The Ready, Set, Go program is a nationally recognized program. It's a collaboration of different agencies that's put the program together. And basically what it is geared toward wildland fires, homes and wildfires, and protecting your home, your property, and yourself. It has a set of steps goes through it. It's called Ready, Set, Go, as it's indicated. The ready part is getting ready in the event the fire is coming, before the fire starts. And the set is part of gathering up the proper materials and stuff like that, so you have time in advance to evacuate. And then the go part of it is actually, you know, getting out of there early and protect yourself. The program is geared toward protecting your home and your family.
Thank you so much, Chief Grisham, for joining me and telling me a little bit about what it's like to fight fires and how to be ready for them and what to do, and then some of your fun stories. It's
Right.
really interesting.
It's been my pleasure, and I appreciate the invitation.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us on our show today. If you would like more information on the Ready, Set, Go program or the CWPP, please go to HuntsvilleTX.gov and look under the Fire Department link. Thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you next time.